this point, it's over. That whole Sky Barbie thing, that thing is over. Angel Reese is done in Chicago. They're going to move on. They have to. With what Courtney Vandersloot just came back and said, Courtney Vandersloot just smoked Angel Reese. And you know who else is going in on Angel Reese? You got Nightcap with Unk and Ocho, Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson going in on this Angel Reese situation. She didn't think it was going to go this way.
The Chicago Sky are officially imploding, and it's all because their biggest star just broke the #1 rule in sports. Angel Reese has publicly declared war on her own teammate, the legendary Courtney Vandersloot, sparking a civil war inside the locker room that is threatening to burn the entire franchise to the ground. This isn't just drama, it's a full-blown crisis, forcing everyone to choose a side in a battle between a brash young phenom and a decorated champion. And the fallout from this stunning act of betrayal could be catastrophic for everyone involved.
If you're going to go at a legend, you better not miss. As we know, Angel Reese come out this week. She absolutely crushed her own teammates into the dust. And she even decided to go after a legend. The legendary Courtney Vandersloot, who, of course, blew out her ACL at the beginning of the season. And she is in the midst of making a comeback. And, of course, Angel Reese made some comments that were none too kind to a legend. Angel Reese will be lucky if she has a third of the career.
Every sport has unwritten rules, sacred codes of conduct that maintain order and respect within a team. The most important of these is simple: you never ever publicly attack your own. But Angel Reese didn't just break that rule, she shattered it into a million pieces. It all started with a few seemingly casual comments during an interview, but the words were aimed like a dagger at the heart of the team's veteran leader, Courtney Vandersloot. While Vandersloot was grinding through a grueling recovery from a devastating ACL tear, Reese was publicly questioning her future. She openly mused about Vandersloot's age, her durability, and whether the 35-year-old champion could ever be the same player again. Reese suggested the Sky needed someone younger, someone more reliable to build around. To the outside world, it might have sounded like a frank assessment, but inside the world of professional sports, it was the ultimate act of betrayal, a young star publicly pushing a franchise icon towards the door while she was at her most vulnerable. The line hadn't just been crossed, it had been erased.
Rookie team. Angel will not have the career that Courtney Vandersloot has had. She won't. You know why? Because I don't think the league's going to tolerate her long enough. She's going to run her mouth until she just ends up jumping from team to team until she does what I think she should do right now.
Legends don't become legends by backing down from a fight. Courtney Vandersloot, a 5-time All-Star, a 7-time assist champion, and a 2-time WNBA champion, has built her entire career on poise, precision, and an unbreakable will. She wasn't about to let her legacy be publicly dismantled by a player who has yet to win a single playoff series. But her retaliation wasn't a fiery rant or a dramatic social media post. Her response was something far colder, far more calculated, and infinitely more powerful. In a calm and direct statement, Vandersloot addressed the whispers head-on. She declared, contrary to what people say or think, my age is not a factor.
I don't know, Angel Reese. This is what Courtney Vandersloot had to say. She's firing off. Angel Reese, you got her twisted. She said, contrary to what people think, what people say or think, my age is actually not a factor. I am coming back. This is after Angel Reese said, yeah, Sloot is old. We need somebody young that can do this, that got some experience, but we need somebody young. She too old. I don't know if she can come back from that torn ACL.
I'm coming back better than ever. There was no rage, no drama, just unshakable, ice-cold confidence. It was a masterclass in veteran leadership. She didn't stoop to Reese's level of chaos. She rose above it, reminding everyone that her 2 championship rings speak louder than any reckless comment ever could. The clapback was devastating not because it was loud, but because it was rooted in undeniable truth. In that moment, the battle lines were drawn. To truly understand this locker room explosion, you have to realize this wasn't an isolated mistake. For Angel Reese, controversy isn't an accident, it's a strategy. She meticulously cultivated a villain persona during her championship run at LSU, embracing the role of the agitator who gets under her opponent's skin. She brought that same combative energy to the WNBA, racking up technical fouls and engaging in on-court antics that kept her in the headlines. For a while, it worked.
Oh, but she's on video now, and she's made a direct shot. Courtney has answered the shot from Angel Reese. And I got to be honest with you. How much here I'm going to speculate out loud. How much shit was Angel Reese talking in that Chicago Sky locker room last year around Kennedy Carter about Caitlin Clark? All right, think about that a minute. The influence there. I got to tell you, I don't think it was Kennedy Carter that blew that locker room up. I think it was Angel Reese.
It built her brand and made her one of the most watched and most talked about players in the league. But there is a critical, uncrossable line between targeting your opponents and targeting your own teammates. By publicly disrespecting Vandersloot, Reese weaponized her brand against her own house, proving that for her, the narrative surrounding Angel Reese might be more important than the success of the Chicago Sky. This wasn't just a misstep, it was a calculated move from a player who seems to believe she is the system, not a part of it.
Sloot wasn't going for it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Courtney Vandersloot has won a title in Chicago, and she will not be playing with Angel Reese next year. I'm going to tell you that right now. Angel Reese is good as gone. Good as gone.
The chaos in Chicago is thrown into even sharper relief when you contrast Reese's behavior with that of her biggest rival, Caitlin Clark. Both players entered the league as generational superstars, carrying the immense weight of expectation on their shoulders. But their approaches to leadership and adversity could not be more different. Clark has faced a relentless barrage since turning pro, brutal, cheap shots, constant physical targeting, and non-stop scrutiny from fans and media alike. Yet her focus has remained laser-sharp on one thing: elevating the Indiana Fever. You don't see her calling out her teammates in interviews or publicly questioning the value of veterans. You see her trying to build a winning culture from the ground up, even when it's difficult. Reese, on the other hand, seems to be actively dismantling one. While Clark is battling opposing teams, Reese is battling her own colleagues. This reveals a massive gap, not just in maturity, but in understanding what it truly means to be a franchise player. Clark is proving she can be the foundation of an organization. Reese is proving she might be its fatal flaw. With a public declaration of war between its biggest young star and its most respected veteran, the Chicago Sky locker room has reportedly become a deeply fractured and toxic environment. Whispers from around the league suggest the team is now split into two camps. On one side, you have the younger players, drawn to Reese's magnetic star power and her confrontational, anti-establishment style. On the other, you have the seasoned veterans who understand that winning championships requires respect, discipline, and unity, all principles that Reese has openly defied. This isn't even the first sign of trouble. Last season, the team was rocked by the drama surrounding Kennedy Carter's infamous foul on Caitlin Clark, a move many now believe was a symptom of a much deeper, pre-existing cultural rot. Analysts are now looking back and asking the tough question: was Angel Reese the one stirring the pot and poisoning the well all along? It paints a grim picture of a team at war with itself, where the foundational respect for the old guard has been replaced by the brash entitlement of a new star who refuses to wait her turn. Faced with a full-blown five-alarm crisis, the Chicago Sky management had a choice. They could make a definitive stand, discipline their star player, and send an unequivocal message that no single individual is bigger than the team. Or they could cave, protecting their biggest ticket seller and social media draw, at the expense of their team's culture and integrity. Incredibly, they chose the weakest, most pathetic path imaginable. Angel Reese was suspended for one half of one basketball game. It wasn't a punishment. It was a public surrender. It was a performative, meaningless slap on the wrist that accomplished nothing other than revealing to the entire league that the Sky's front office is completely and utterly spineless. by refusing to hold Reese accountable in any meaningful way. They sent a terrifying message to the rest of the team: the rules don't apply to her. This embarrassing display of leadership didn't just fail to solve the problem, it poured gasoline on the fire, empowering Reese and leaving her coaches looking like they have zero control over their own franchise player. The Chicago Sky now stands at a franchise-defining crossroads, and the damage may already be too deep to repair. The trust is broken. The respect is gone. It seems impossible to imagine Angel Reese and Courtney Vandersloot sharing a court next season, let alone working together to win a championship. The front office has to make an impossible choice with no easy answer. Do they trade Reese, a player with immense talent and undeniable marketability, and admit to the world that they created a monster they couldn't control? Or do they keep her, effectively handing the keys to the franchise to a star who has proven she will tear down anyone who gets in her way, including her own teammates? If they keep Reese, they risk alienating every veteran in the locker room and signaling to potential free agents that Chicago is a toxic and dysfunctional place to play. But if they trade her, they lose one of the brightest young talents in the entire game. This single conflict, born from a few reckless words, has now become a full-blown identity crisis that will dictate the future of the entire organization for years to come. This firestorm didn't stay contained within WNBA circles for long. It exploded into a national sports conversation, drawing sharp criticism from some of the most respected voices in media. On their massively popular show, nightcap NFL legends Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson didn't hold back. Sharpe was merciless, predicting that Reese would run her mouth until she bounced from team to team, ultimately flaming out of the league entirely. He argued that the WNBA wouldn't tolerate her behavior long enough for her to build any real legacy. When titans of the sports world, figures who have seen it all, are publicly issuing verdicts this harsh, it signals a monumental problem. This is no longer just fan speculation or blog commentary. It's a professional indictment of Angel Reese's character and a warning that her confrontational brand is becoming too toxic even for the world of professional sports. As experts dissected Reese's behavior, one comparison kept surfacing again and again. Angel Reese is the WNBA's Draymond Green. The parallels are impossible to ignore. Both are emotional, confrontational players who thrive on chaos. Both are known for their on-court antics, racking up technical fouls and engaging in headline-grabbing stare-downs and trash talk. But there is one crucial, glaring difference that separates them, and it's everything. Draymond Green has 4 NBA championship rings. His chaotic energy is tolerated and at times even celebrated because it's seen as the emotional engine of a modern dynasty. His antics are viewed as the price of winning. Angel Reese, on the other hand, has the Draymond attitude without the Draymond resume. She has no championships, no deep playoff runs, not even a winning record to back up her behavior. Without the ultimate validation of winning, her antics don't look like passion, they look like immaturity. She's playing a role that can only be justified by a level of success she hasn't even come close to achieving yet. In the end, this entire saga comes down to one person, Angel Reese. Her talent is undeniable. She is a ferocious force on the court, a relentless rebounder with a passion that can, at times, be infectious. But her career is now teetering on a razor's edge, caught between her immense potential and her self-destructive tendencies. The history of sports is littered with the ghosts of supremely gifted athletes, whose careers were ultimately derailed by their own egos. Right now, Reese is walking that same treacherous path. The question is no longer about whether she can play basketball at an elite level. It's about whether she can lead, whether she can learn that respect is earned, not demanded, and that championships are won with unity, not division. Is Angel Reese destined for WNBA greatness, or is she on her way to becoming one of basketball's great cautionary tales, a star who shone brilliantly before burning every single bridge in sight?